This is Rose from In Rose's Garden, and today we're going to work on a simple pair of earrings. Well, maybe not so simple to some people, but I think they're relatively simple. Pair of earrings using the bead, some of our small beads from our Birds of a Feather Design Challenge Kit from SoftFlex company. I had to make a little adjustment to them, but I'll show you what I mean when we get working on them. Okay, I've got 2 pieces of 4.5 inch 18 gauge wire. I've got 2 ball head pins, 2 ear wires, I think this is 24 gauge wire, and these beads from the kit. Well, my original plan was to put the beads on the base wire, but the little tiny beads are small enough that it has to be 22 gauge before they go on it. And to me, that's just too small. So we won't do that. But what we want to do is we're going to take our long Picasso bead here. And, oops, I put the spacers away because I won't need them to wrap the pliers, but need them for here. So these babies are going to go like this. This is going to be the dangle in the middle of our earring. So what we need is for these to have this go around them, and then we're going to wire wrap the little beads onto them. And I'll separate those out in a minute so that we get this proper amount to each earring. In fact, let's do that right now. Okay, so 1 to each. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to wind these up because we know they're going to need to be wound up in the middle. So let's go ahead and do that for 2 reasons. Number 1, I want to know exactly how long they are to make sure that I'm making my loop that I'm going to have to put around these large enough. So go up and around and down. Bring her down and around, straighten her up. Same with the other one. Up and around and down. Bring her over, straighten her up. And then we'll just take our pliers, grab hold. Oops, dropped it. That doesn't work, does it? Grab hold, and we'll take a second pair of pliers and wrap it up. Do the same with the second one. Okay, there's our two middle pieces. We'll put one of them with the other one over here. Now the next thing we want to do is prepare our wire before we start putting anything on it. So what I want to do is get this as straight as possible. This little curve doesn't want to spread, but that's all right. I mean, and then we want to find the middle of our piece of wire as close as possible. So we'll get our ruler back out. Oops, knock the beads everywhere. And we're going to, since I cut 4 1/2, we're going to want about 2 3/4. So we'll put our pliers at 2 3/4. That's not right. 4 1/2 would, oh, it would be 2 1/4, not 3/4. Oof, good thing I looked. Okay, then we're going to bend this one up. It's like so. So we'll do the same with this second one. Get it to 2 1/4. Grab it at 2 1/4. And bend this side up. So they both should be pretty well bent up in a 2 1/4 inch V. Now let's see if these are all more or less the same, because if they're different, I'm going to want to trim them. They're not, they're fine, that's good. So my next step is I'm going to take my wire mandrel, and I want these to have the V here, but I want them to be rounded after that. So they're sort of like in a teardrop shape. So sort of like this. Which one did I have that on? Yep, that's where I had it, so that's good. No, 2 up. Okay. So we put that over here, hold it, and wrap it. Let's see if they're about the same. Looks like I've got this one going more than the other one. Well, you can see that I did. So they're not quite the same. I've got this one being a bit smaller here, so we'll see if we can't make it a little closer. Well, close enough for what we're going to do now. I want to pound the point so that it is, well, actually, because we're not going to feed the beads on, we could just turn the loops on either side now, and I think I will do that. So we're going to get the smaller of our mandrels here and just turn a loop on either side. And I don't think these are going to be in the same spot, which it's going to be a problem. But if it isn't, I will figure it out. See, this one's lower. I don't like that, so we'll need to, there we go, that's better. So now we're going to do the same with this. Not bad. So our next step is we're going to get our chasing hammer because I'm going to flatten the point. So we're going to get loud here. And now I'm texturing it somewhat. And now to finish it off, because we want to have it work hardened a bit, I'm going to take my nylon jaw and get the top a bit. Okay. Now let's do the same to this one. Okay, now let's compare these two. I like them to be as close as possible to each other. They're relatively close, though one is a little bit more rounded, I think, than the other, but I think they're close enough. So we want to make sure our little piece here is going to fit in here, all right? It looks like it's a little crooked here. Okay, so this piece is going to hang right here in the middle. And it is crooked. I'm going to have to see about getting that straightened. Okay, so it's going to hang right in here. But in the meantime, before we get that put together, we need to put our beads on. So we're going to divide our beads in half here. For each earring, they're going to be divided in half because half is going to go on one bar and half will go on the other bar. So let's divide these two up so that we make sure that we have the proper amount on each bar. Come here, you. So what we're going to do here is we're going to do blueberry gray, light blue, turquoise, light blue, gray, and blueberry, like so, on each side. And we're going to wrap those up on each side of our earring. So we're going to get a little bit of 24 gauge wire out. We don't need an atrocious lot, but I'm going to take out probably more than I need because I prefer too much to not enough. So now that I have this wire out, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it from here and I'm going to wrap a couple of wraps around the top up here. Just like 3 or 4. This is our anchor. Now we're going to start feeding our beads on. And we're going to bring them to the outside, and then we're just going to go 1 and 2, and then we'll feed our next bead on. Lay it down as much as possible here, and then 1 and 2. So they're sitting like this. Now as you go down the line, you can tighten them or loosen it to spread them out, or pull them closer if you want to. 1, 2, push her a little closer. Come on, stay there. 1, 2. Now this last bead is a little bit more to the point than I want, so we're going to bring our other beads up a little bit. There, that should do it. Now normally we just have 2 here. We're going to put 3, maybe even 4, because this is our ending spot. Well, we started with 3, so we should just have 3. It looks like 3 is about right here. So now we're going to cut the wire off here, and then we'll tuck those end wires in. So there is the beginning of our earring. So let's get this wire cut right here. And this one will cut right here. And we're going to take our pliers and we're going to tuck that wire in as tight as we can. They don't always want to tuck tight, but that's all right. This is not going to be in your ear. It's just going to be beside you to a degree. So there is one side done. So now we'll turn it, we'll get, actually that's probably enough wire that I already have here, so we'll see, hopefully it is. We will do the other side just the same, and then we will be putting it together with this piece in the middle. So let's get going on our other side here. We do it exactly the same way. Will I have enough wire? I think maybe. We'll see. If not, I'll be sorry, won't I? So we're going to take this in here, and we're going to wrap 3 times around the base wire. There we go. And then we'll put our first bead on, which is the blueberry one. Get back up there, you. 1 and 2. Gray. 1 and 2. Little blue. 1 and 2. Little turquoise. 1. Go up there, and 2. Back to the little blue. 1 and 2. That one went over the top, and I don't want that, so we fixed that. Now the gray again. Push you up here. 2. Looks like we're just going to be big enough. Blue. And 1. It looks like we do need to compact this a little bit, some of them. 1. Now if you need to, if your wire is getting short, go ahead and use your pliers to pull it around. 2. When I said I was going to have just enough, I wasn't kidding. That is just enough. So there's that. Now we need to do a little adjusting of our beads here because it looks like we have them spread a little differently. Pull this one tight and cut it. Well, just turn it to the other side, it looks like. Okay, so there is our first earring, and the only thing we have to do is now put it together. So we're going to take one ear wire, one of these guys, and some jump rings. So I'm thinking to hang right, our little blue thing is going to have to be on a jump ring as well. So we'll put it on a jump ring first. Close it up. And then the 2 bars of the earring. I don't think I got it open far enough. Now we're going to take this last jump ring, open it up. Then we're going to grab the first of these wires on the side here, then the one for, and then up and over this one. Oops, well, that wasn't supposed to happen. Push that back off the floor, and we'll try this again. Over the first loop, over the drop, through the second loop, over the ear wire. Nope. I want our little connections to be at the back as much as possible, so close this baby up, and let's see how she's hanging. Now, if you wanted the drop down a little further, you could put it on another jump ring. It would keep it from banging up at the top of the bars, and it would give it just a teeny bit more length. So maybe we'll do that. But in order to do that, instead of, I'm just going to open this one up that it's sitting on, and I'm going to leave it in place here. I'm just going to close it back up. And what we're going to do is I don't want a lot of more space in there, so I'm thinking maybe just a tinky tot instead of a big one. But let's see how that would look. We'll need two of them, one for the other one and one for this one. So we'll open this little bugger up. Put him on here. And it doesn't matter if because the beads will turn, so it's not like it's a big whoop if you get them backwards or forwards, or if it's turned sideways when it goes on. You just need to turn them if it does. And that earring head is a wee bit off. There we go. There we go. There's our first one finished. Isn't that cool? So now to do the second one, we just do the exact same thing. So we're going to get some small wire out. We're going to put these guys. Actually, I'm just going to do it right now. Just going to open this tinky tot up. And put it on this wire, or this jump ring, and then this guy here. Close it back up. And it's ready to be put on when we get to that point. Now we're going to get some wire out and start wrapping this up. We need to divide it in two like we did this one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, just like so. And we'll get some wire. That aside, because we're done with it now. Now we will do 3 wraps on this side to start it out. Then we want the blueberry one. baby. And we'll go over and through. 1, 2, and the gray then, and then so on down the line. Now you can see we've got these down lower than we want, so we need to make some adjustments and get them up just a little bit. Looks like our first one is the one that can go up, so that moves them all up some. Right there. And then we need to do our 3 wraps here. Now this wrap is trying to go over the one in front of it, so we need to stop it from doing that. Push them all up so they're good and tight. Compare to the other one to see where we're sitting at. If we're too high or too low. I think we're a little too low. So we'll move these up a little bit still. And then we're going to trim our wire. Then we'll take our pliers, and we'll squish down those wires into place better. Same with the upper one. Blue one still needs to go up a little, I think, which would help all the way around. There we go. So now we need to take our wire again, start the other side exactly the same with 3 wraps. Just enough, I think. Cut this teeny bit off the end because it's a little sharp there. And push her down. Same with this one. Get it trimmed right here. And bring her around. And this is down a little low, so we'll push it up. I think it'll go up just a little higher here. And there it is compared to its buddy here. And now we just need to put it together. So we'll start with our jump ring here and put the 2 side arm jump rings on. pushed it a bit too much there. Okay. Trying to get the gap about the same as the other side. It's close. Okay. Now next step is to put everything together. So we'll open up this last jump ring. Go through here, and then we have this last one. We have to push it up properly, because if you put it in backwards, you're going to have a nasty twist in the middle of your earring. Okay. There we go. There's earring number 2. So there's our pretty little earrings using our little beads, excuse me, from our SoftFlex Design Challenge Kit, Birds of a Feather. Aren't those pretty? There we go. There is our Birds of a Feather earrings with the little dip in the middle and the wire wrapping the little beads. We had to wire wrap the little beads because the biggest wire they would go onto were 22. And 22 is just a little bit too flimsy for my taste for a hoop. So there we go. They're wire wrapped on instead of fed on. And pretty earrings. I think they turned out quite nicely. So there we go. Again, these earrings are made from SoftFlex Design Company's kit, Design Challenge Kit, Birds of a Feather. And this has been Rose from In Rose's Garden, and I hope you enjoyed making these with me. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.